this natural ramp that leads up and out of the crater. We're lucky to have a route the rover can safely drive up the rim right where we need it. Starting the climb would mark a new and exciting phase of the mission, exploring rocks far older than those in Jezero and produced in an entirely different way. One tempting target are these light-colored rocks partway up the rim. They may have interacted with hot water in a hydrothermal environment, another exciting place to hunt for evidence of past life. Since finishing its study of the crater floor, Perseverance has been climbing the delta and piecing together the history of this once watery environment. We've come a long way in nearly 3 years of exploring and collecting samples, but there's still so much more to investigate. Follow the journey at mars.nasa.gov/perseverance.
What's up for January? Cue the planet parade. Saturn and Venus cross paths. Mars expresses its opposition, and the outlook for the quadrantid meteors. In January, you'll have the opportunity to take in 4 bright planets in a single sweeping view. All month after dark, you'll find Venus and Saturn in the southwest for the first couple of hours, while Jupiter shines brightly high overhead and Mars rises in the east. Uranus and Neptune are there too, technically, but they don't appear as bright planets. These multi-planet viewing opportunities aren't super rare, but they don't happen every year, so it's worth checking it out. Now, these events are sometimes called alignments of the planets, and while it's true that they will appear more or less along a line across the sky, that's what planets always do. That line is called the ecliptic, and it represents the plane of the solar system in which the planets orbit around the Sun. This is, incidentally, why we sometimes observe planets appearing to approach closely to each other on the sky, as we view them along a line while they careen around the cosmic racetrack. This is exactly what we'll be seeing from Venus and Saturn as they head for a super close approach in mid-January. After the beginning of the month, they quickly get closer and closer each evening, appearing at their most cozy on the 17th and 18th, before going their separate ways. Remember, they're really hundreds of millions of miles apart in space, so when you observe them, you're staring clear across the solar system. Mars reaches opposition this month, which is when the planet lies directly on the opposite side of Earth from the Sun, forming a straight line. This is around the time when the planet is at its closest to Earth, making it appear at its biggest and brightest. For Mars, oppositions happen about every 2 years. This one won't be the most spectacular ever, but it's still closer than average and provides a great opportunity to observe the nearby planet where NASA has 5 missions currently operating. And on the 13th, the full moon cozies up to Mars, appearing super close to the red planet that evening. Across the US and eastern Canada, the moon will appear to pass in front of Mars over a couple of hours as the pair rise into the eastern sky. Mars will also be the lone planet in the sky on January mornings. You'll find it hanging out in the west in morning twilight. The quadrantid meteors peak in the early morning hours on January 3rd. Interference from moonlight won't be a problem, as the moon is a mere crescent and sets early in the night. The way to see the most meteors is to observe after midnight from clear, dark skies away from bright city lights, and let your eyes adapt to the dark. The meteor rate will be highest as dawn approaches, and you'll see more meteors from rural locations than in the suburbs. Now, this is a shower best seen from the northern hemisphere, and observers in the Northwest and Pacific region will likely have the best viewing this year. Here are the phases of the moon for January. Stay up to date on all of NASA's missions exploring the solar system and beyond at science.nasa.gov. I'm Preston Dykes from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and that's what's up for this month.
choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills.
It's been 50 years since we've been to the moon, and we've got a great program called Artemis. We're going back. The Apollo program was a test for the American people that you can do what you set out to do. All it took was turning to it and making it happen.
We are go for a mission to the moon at this time.
Engines on 5, 4, 3, 2, all engines running. Launch commit, liftoff. We have liftoff 49 minutes past the hour.
I think the characteristic that I remember most of the Saturn V was the noise. The noise was enormous and it was almost impossible to communicate.
We're go, swing tight, we're go.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
The landing to me was a great celebration. The nation was almost euphoric.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
There are so many things that we could eventually learn about our universe and the spacecraft that we use exploring.
We are a nation of explorers. During Apollo, we were on national TV literally every day because we were doing something visible that Americans could see and they could feel and say, look what we are doing. And I believe Artemis is going to come up and say, look what we are capable of and what we are doing now.
Artemis will stand on the shoulders of Apollo. They're going to have the eyes of the world on them when they start down this trail.
The science of a space flight is one that will continue to inspire. Going to the moon generates technology, more communications, more computer technology, more sophistication in manufacturing that help us in everyday life.
We have a generation that is ready, a generation with that technology, a generation with the education. Artemis represents the future in space. It is our next big step, and it is time to take it.
Tune in to NASA TV for the next live mission update. For more on the science of the mission and resources for students and educators, head to stem.nasa.gov/Artemis. Follow the mission online on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And get the latest updates from the Artemis blog at blogs.nasa.gov/Artemis.
Training is all risk mitigation. What exactly the crew is going to need to be able to do, what they need to know to do those things, what's the most logical order to put all of this training in to help build that big picture for the crew. I'm Jackie Mahaffey. I am the Artemis II Chief Training Officer, and this is how to train for the moon. We're here at the Johnson Space Center, where most of the training for the Artemis II mission is happening. The Artemis II mission is the first time that we are putting human astronauts in the Orion spacecraft. They will be checking out all of the life support on Orion, making sure that everything that we plan to do in the Orion capsule is going to work really well, so that the next missions, when we go land on the moon, we can focus on that new step. This training for the crew, we've basically had to invent from the ground up. We got together the teams of experts on how to operate the different aspects of Orion. Any particular week, I might be working with a particular set of those instructors on developing a lesson for the crew, taking a look at what is everything we think we should teach them, or ideas we have of things that they should know or be able to do, and look at which of those are going to best enable the mission success. And so we started giving them an introduction to the Orion vehicle, what kinds of systems we have on it, the basics on how they work. And then as soon as our simulators were ready and our mock-ups were ready, we were in them starting to actually get hands-on and see, what does this look like to the crew? What do their displays look like? How is it going to be to run a procedure in Orion? We do integrated simulations with our flight control team and the crew working together for a particular part of the mission, and driving what they're going to see on their displays, what they might see out their windows, and operating in that space.
I'm Toby Martin. I'm the lead engineer for the Beta Dome at the Johnson Space Center. What we have is the cockpit for the Orion simulator. It has the full simulation behind it, and we have out the window views so they can see what's happening outside the vehicle, and immerses them into the environment so that they feel like they're actually flying. We project that on this massive dome behind me. We have a number of projectors that are meshed together and project that image. We can change the simulations out, and we can change the scenarios out so that people can come in, and we can usually accommodate that in fairly short order.
I'm Grace Lauderdale. I'm the Exploration Project Manager, and we're sitting here in the Orion Mission Simulator at the Johnson Space Center. The training simulator trains the flight control team as well as the crew. The simulator is unique in that we have the communications network integrated into the sim. When we interact with the crew, it's usually to help them understand if something doesn't act right. We have instructors in another room that throws all sorts of malfunctions in there so that they're ready to solve any problems that we throw at them. They have procedures that they follow so that we help execute all of those malfunctions for that training event.
One of the things that's really important to the crew is making sure they have time to pre-brief and, of course, debrief afterwards. We say often in training that the training's only as good as what you take home, what you've actually reflected on. And so when they come together, not only are our instructors teaching them about the vehicle, but they are teaching us back about how to have that crew perspective of working in space, or the things that are going to matter most, so that we can then go write procedures or plan their day in a way that's going to be effective. Putting them in a scenario and getting to see how they problem solve together has been a really cool experience.
5, 4,